Now, think before you speak. Moral story. Once a crow felt very hungry. He flew here and there to find something to eat. Suddenly, he caught a sight of a piece of cheese in the kitchen of an old lady. He stole it and flew in the jungle. He sat on a branch of a tree to eat it. A hungry fox was also wandering in the jungle in search of food. He saw the crow sitting in a tree having a piece of cheese in his beak. He came near to the tree and said to the crow, "Your songs are very melodious. Will you sing a beautiful song for me?" The crow was greatly pleased to hear his praise and opened his beak to sing. But the moment he opened his mouth, the piece of cheese fell down. The fox took it at once and said, "Thank you, Mr. Crow. The piece of cheese is much sweeter than your voice." The crow then realized his foolishness, but now it was useless to repent. Moral: think before you speak. Number 2, look before you leap. Haste makes waste. Once there lived a rich man in a thick forest. He had a faithful and beautiful dog. The rich man was fond of hunting. The dog guarded his only child in his absence. One day he went hunting. The dog remained at home to look after his child. That day a dangerous wolf came there. The dog fought and killed the wolf. The rich man's child remained quite safe and sound. When the rich man came back in the evening, he saw the dog's mouth covered with blood. He flew into rage. He took his sword and at once killed the faithful dog without investigation. But when he entered the house hastily, he saw the dead body of a wolf. He found his son quite safe. His son had not received even a slight injury. Then he wept on his folly and cursed himself. But what is done cannot be undone. Moral: number 1, it is no use crying over spilt milk. Number 2, haste makes waste. Pride hath a fall. Once a hare and a tortoise became fast friends. They lived in a forest. The hare was very proud of his fast speed. He always laughed at the slow speed of his friend. The tortoise was unhappy with the behavior of the hare. One day the tortoise challenged him to run a race. At first, the hare laughed, thinking he was out of senses, but at last he accepted in his challenge. The race started early in the morning. The hare ran as fast as he could. In a few moments, he went out of sight. He thought the tortoise would be far behind and he could rest for a while. So he lay down under a tree. The wind was very cool. He soon went to sleep. The tortoise went on moving slowly and crossed the sleeping hare. At last he reached the winning post. The hare woke up when the sun was about to set. It was too late. He took long jumps and reached his goals. To his amazement, he saw the tortoise already sitting there. He felt ashamed at this pride. Moral: number 1, never make fun of others. Number 2, pride hath a fall. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Once upon a time, two friends were traveling through a forest. One friend was sincere but the other was selfish. When they reached the middle of the forest, they saw a dangerous bear coming to them from behind the bushes. As the far came, the selfish friend at once climbed up a tree, so he felt his friend in the trouble. The sincere friend did not know how to climb up a tree. He called his friend for help, but he did not come. He had heard people saying that the bear did not eat a dead body, so he fell flat on the ground and held his breath. He pretended to be dead. The bear came close to him. It sniffed him from his face and ears and went away, considered him dead. When the wild bear had gone away, the friend on the tree discounted the tree. He asked his friend what the bear had said in his ears. He replied that the bear advised him to beware of selfish friends. Moral: a friend is need is a friend indeed.